Hey, good morning, guys. Um, so I just started the stream, but I was wondering, what's the quality like on my if I'm looking at my channel right now, it looks a little blurry. Is that what you guys are seeing, or is it clear enough? Like I said, it looks a little blurry to me. So if you guys can let me know how it looks for you, if it's sorry about that. Um, but yeah, I was wondering if it's just me, or is it that's how Twitch looks like. Alright, so in the meantime, I'll just get things started. What I was planning for today, as mentioned, is let me turn up the audio then. All right, is this any better? It's at 15% right now. So hopefully it works a little better. I can turn it up if it's still too low. Okay, let me turn it up a little higher. Okay, I just doubled it. It was at 15%. Now it's at 30. Hopefully that's better. Okay, so with these minor tweaks, are probably going to happen throughout, but let's get into it. As I was saying, we're going to start off with Adobe Fuse, which if you have a um, Adobe Cloud, I believe, or an Adobe account, it's free. So hopefully it'll stay that way for a little bit. I think they're in beta, so I'm thinking it might be free for a little bit of time. Hopefully, we'll see how long. So let's start up by creating our character. So I'm just gonna start with the basic. I think I'm gonna do like a male fit A. So I'm gonna select all the male fit A features, and you can. Whoops, that was a little bit too much. You got all these little areas on this that um, you can modify. He looks a little bit apish, like an ape. So let's try and go back to. I think I've only used this, once or twice. So, I'm probably not the best at it. But you can grab one of the facial features that it gets highlighted and pull them around a little bit. It's kind of a hog when you do that. To rotate, just hold down Alt and left mouse button and rotate around. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Let's do the body. Even though this might be replaced since we're going to do some quick close on it. And legs. It's pretty nice because it just rolls you through all the elements needed to create this character. And in the end, it turns out quite alright for 2 minutes worth of work. So, oops, I kind of made him a little skinny, but okay, that's fine. All right, so let's do clothing, just so that it's kind of an actual character or something. So I'm just gonna try and keep it simple. Just pick up something here. Bottoms. Um, Let's do maybe some cargo shorts. There we go. Let's do some shoes. And they all have a pretty decent selection of um, items in here, and it does save you quite a bit of time. Okay, so I think that I'll call it good. This is a lot of you can just play around with this and get this stuff out. One thing to look at is the textures. By default, they're at 512, so I don't know if they're kind of low, but that's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm not just gonna bring these up to 1024 and um, the skin to 2000 2K. All right, so there we go. We have our guide. There's a lot of other customizations to be made. You know, take the pants for example. You can change colors, you can change some of the materials on them. But I'm not gonna spend the time on that. Okay, so now all you need to do is send to Mixamo, and we'll call this short pants guy. Alright, come on. There we go. Alright, so let's save this. And it's exporting the model. And sometimes it takes a little long because it has those textures with it as well. So I guess the OBJ got exported and now it's uploading it. So in the meantime, I'll just fire up Blender here, because there are a few tweaks that that need to be done. From from what I've done so far, when you bring this into Mixamo and you export the animations, what will happen is the character is going to be facing on the Y negative, so we have to rotate it by 180. Alright, so there we go. The skin got exported. So now what we need to do is it actually just brings up browser, and you're logged into Mixamo, and you just need to select your skeleton for this. Depends on how long this is going to take. Hopefully not too long. So as I was saying, the character exported is on the Y negative pointed, so both that and the animations we have to quickly bring into Blender. The only thing you need to do is rotate by 180, and one more little thing is that the skin is split up into all these items, and what you need to do is you're probably gonna I usually just join them into one single object for the skin. So There you go. We have a couple of options here. I usually go with the standard skeleton. Um, Finished. Facial blend shapes. I'm not entirely sure what they do. I haven't delved that much into animation, but I'll just leave it like this for now. All right, so finish, and now let's do some animate. So there we go. We have our character here, and let's look for just we'll start with some walking animation, and you gotta press enter because this little search magnifying glass doesn't do anything. Okay, so let's select the the first thing that comes to mind. All right, so another thing to note is that the way I'm doing it is I'm exporting these as animations in place. So as you can see, he's just walking in place, and that way we can actually move the root bone and not have him run ahead of you, sort of thing. So let's add these to my assets. And also another thing is whenever, and I've run into this issue a few times, is whenever you have this guy, you see the animation and you see the option to view or download, sometimes the in place is not selected, and you're gonna download an animation that is he does run away from you. So the good thing about it is that the naming is pretty good. So as you can see, the in place is gone. So I'm just gonna select that again and then queue the download. So I'm gonna leave it as FBX with skin and queue download. Alright, so there we go. Now we can download this one. And see, this is where you're gonna get it's called walking, but it's not walking in place. So I'll show you once I import this animation into Blender. Yeah, Oscar, there you go. Since you're having the same issue, so it's not just me, and I've seen other people complaining about it online. Is that, I mean, this thing is in beta right now, so it's probably that's why they're having some issues with it. Okay, so let's set this to the side, and if we were to bring it into Blender, so let's import FBX and downloads. So let's sort by date. Done. So this is the one that I just downloaded. So we're gonna import this. Oh, the DAE, yeah. So first of all, like I was saying, as you can notice, this is pointed the wrong direction. So if I was to play animations, you'll see that it's just kind of walking away from you, and we don't really want that. So I'm just going to reset the scene here. And let's go back to Mixamo, and now once you had this downloaded, you're going to have your characters here. So there's this guy, and along with your animations. So if I was to select my animation here, let's do in place again, and try and queue the download again and see if this works. You'll know that it works because the naming is going to be walking in place. So there we go. So now, as you can see, it's called walking in place, and that's what you're looking for. So that's one of the issues. You might have to go back and reselect it. No big deal, but just something to take care of with. Alright, so as soon as this is downloaded, we'll import it into Blender again. Come on, pedal a little faster. So while that is downloading, let's jump to Cryengine launcher and actually create a quick project for today's stream. So let's do this. I don't want. Ah, oh, come on, really? Is it really not gonna let me create one? Okay, whatever. So I'm gonna start with a third-person shooter. That way, I don't have to change anything, any camera, so that we can see our character. So this is gonna be a stream Mixamo, maybe we'll call this, and we'll create the project. Okay, so let's quickly reveal an explorer, and so we already have the folders nicely set up, but in the animations I'm going to create another one called Mixamo, just to try and keep things organized a little bit. And in characters, I'm just going to do a Mixamo character. Okay, so let's go back to, hopefully our thing is downloaded by now. Seems like it. Let's go back to Blender and import this walking animation. So import FBX, run downloads, and let's see. Let's just look at dates and make sure we get the one we just downloaded today, and it's 14th, walking in place, and this is the one. Alright, come up. Alright, there we go. So, just gonna turn on screencast keys. I'm not gonna do anything fancy in Blender, but let's turn the frames down to 32, and then once we play this, you'll see that our character moves in place. So, quickly, let's rotate him around the z-axis by 180, and that's all you need to do as far as that goes. Do not apply any, because right now this guy is 0.01, the scale is off, rotation is off, so if you apply all these, it's going to be, when it gets imported to the engine, it's going to look, rotate around the axis. I think the sides is going to be completely wrong, so I'm not gonna do it right now. Okay, so the other thing that I need to do to complete the character is, you'll see that it already has the body, the materials to this. So I'm just going to join all of these. Just going to be one mesh. So this is going to be skin, maybe. Mixamo skin. Alright, so you can see we have all the materials down here. One thing to note is that when this got exported or downloaded, I didn't get to any of the textures. So in order to do that, we'll just have to extract them out of this. And this is a little bit of a it's going to take a little bit of time, but bear with me and we'll get through it. So you'll see that it has that's the body, normal, diffuse, normal. I'm not going to worry about opacity. I ain't going to worry about the gloss. So there's only 3 of them that I'm really interested in. But in order to do that, let's see if we can unpack them out of this FBX file. So as far as I remember, it's got to be one of these here. So let's see how can we navigate to that. Hopefully we can extract them somehow. And let's look at Mixamo. That's not it. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of annoying. Sometimes it's extracting all these textures out of the thing is a little bit of a headache. So let me try and undo here real quick and see if I can just do a write file to current directory. I guess I didn't like that much. Let's see, where can we find this? Well, actually, maybe we just need to first save this. So let's save it as, and this is going to be pants guy. So we'll just save it right here, and hopefully we'll be able to somehow extract those I'm hoping there's a way to extract those images, because it's a little bit of an annoying kind of thing right now. So that's a packed file. Alright, there we go. So but you need to do that for everyone. So this is the shoes, and so the only thing you need to do is go in here and use file from current directory, and this is after I saved it. So I saved the file to where my Mixamo characters live. So let's go through and see if we can get this one as well. Hopefully. Maybe we might be missing some one of these textures. Directory, alright, and top material. So I'm thinking like the skin is still going to be red when we import it, because I don't have those. Alright, so do that, do this one, and then this one. I'm not going to go through all of them, there's quite a few and it's going to take some time. Alright, so now we have our walking animation, we have our skin. So let's go ahead and export this as FBX. So export as FBX to Mixamo, that's good, and export FBX. So, oh, terrific! That's a great suggestion, Oscar, to export it as a DAE. So yeah, that's a good suggestion. All right, so let's start up our Mixamo project. Okay, there we go. So let's just do, I'm going to do a new level. So right now for jumping game mode, we have our the modus character. So what we're going to do is let's get our character in imported first. So to do that, I'm just going to navigate to where I exported my pants guy, and I'm just going to drag and drop him into the character tool. So hopefully that gets imported right here. And if you look at him, he's oriented the proper way, you know, with on the y-axis. So now we can actually look at the animation that we brought in with him. And there he is walking and walking. Let's create the animation settings. This is just a good practice to do to assign your skeletons. We don't have that in here yet, so let's make sure that we assign this properly, and we also add that skeleton to the skeleton list. So let's add a second skeleton, and this is going to be Pants Guy. Okay, so let's see, we're in objects, characters, Mixamo. There's our Pants Guy. So now we have a skeleton, and you know, we have our path set up here. So in order for you to be able to load the set of animations, you have to specify a path by clicking on this drop down and saying add, and then you select the path. And you can just go here and select where the path for your animations is going to be. Let's also create this new animations events file, just to have to get rid of these warnings. I'm sure it helps. I'm not entirely sure what it exactly does, but so let's just put it in here, anim events. Okay, create. So as you can see, the material is terrible. That's horrible. Yeah, it looks so bad. So let's make sure we save all of these things. Another thing to note, and my bad that I forgot this. If you look at, we're going to export a couple of other animations, maybe a walk backwards. But if you look at this, this is how the naming comes in as, and that is something to rename when you're here. So just double click on it, and this will be maybe walking forward. So with that being renamed, I can re-export this, and we can call this walking forward. All these settings, I didn't change anything in here, so just leave them as is. Alright, so let's export this again, and this actually brings us into the import animations part of this tutorial. So if you were to go to, let's see, we want to bring up here. So if you go to Tools, and you have Animation, and actually, sorry, FBX Import Animation. So again, this is just a drag and drop kind of thing. So let's go to our Mixamo directory here, and we have our walking forward. We'll just drag it in place, and you'll see it's creating it, compiling it, and preview this. So if you preview it, you'll be able to see our walking forward animation. And now it's actually has the name with the armature added, and I'm not sure, I think you can actually change this. Oh, there we go. I've never really tried that, so let's try and change that and see if it takes. So let's set our animations directory for where we want to save this. So Mixamo, select, and let's just save. So let's go back into our character tool now, and hopefully we'll be able to see that in the list. So one thing that I noticed is, since this is relying on text files, it doesn't really load instantaneously. So let's try and select a different character, and then go back to our Pants Guy. Yeah, see, it doesn't really load it. I'm not sure why. So let's see if we save this and go back into Tools and Character Tool. It did not really like that. Maybe it just thinks it's the same animation and it's not going to replace it. Or the other option is reboot the engine. I think that's when it probably reads the new text files, I'm guessing. I'm not entirely sure. So let's go to our project, and hopefully we'll be able to see that walking animation that we just created. So let's open up our test level, and also the other weird thing is that this doesn't really populate unless you click into it, into this box, which is, you know, kind of weirdish, but you know. So yeah, for some reason that second animation did not really like it, so I'm not sure why. But let's work with this one, and I'm also going to create this new anim settings. This is just for compression settings. Alright, so we have this in place. Let's get another animation, maybe a walk backwards, and then we'll take care of the materials on this guy, and replace the modus with him. So let's get this, minimize this. First of all, let's save it. Make sure we have everything saved. And let's go to Mixamo and get a walk backwards animation. Alright, so let's go to my characters, the short pants guy, and we'll do find animations. So I'll just do walk back. Maybe this is going to bring up some. Oh, there we go. We have quite a few, and I think this might fit in pretty good. Just as before, make sure you select in place, and let's do add to my assets. It's still in place, so this is good. View download, but now it's not in place anymore. So make sure you reselect that in place option. Okay, so let's cue the download. So I've tried doing it without the skin, and for whatever reason it didn't really work properly. I'm not sure why. I really don't. Maybe I made some mistake, but it did not seem to work for me without the skin. So let's cue the download. And download. So see, there we go again. The same issue with this walking in place. So I'm just gonna go to my animations again and click this guy and do in place and cue download again. Like I said, this thing is in beta, so there will be issues. And download. So now it looks more like walking backwards in place. So that looks a little bit more proper. So once that finishes downloading, we'll import it into Blender and rotate it 180. Make sure we give it some a name that is, you know, walking backwards, and import it to Cryengine. So let's go to Blender. Just create a new, just a new file. And I think it completed. Yes, there we go. And that's in place. That's the right one. So let's go ahead and file, import, FBX. So then we go to downloads, and let's sort them by date. That was the date I was using, the wrong one. So we got walking backwards in place. So this is importing. Again, let's switch this. I think it's 36 or not 37 frames in here. Okay, so if we were to play this, you'll see it's going backward, but again, it's on the wrong axis. So let's rotate around the Z by 180. And as I mentioned, make sure that let's join the body, the skin, into one object by doing Control J. So the animation, we're going to call this walking backwards. Alright, so let's go ahead and file export FBX, and we'll export it to Mixamo. It's not really, I actually wanted to place this into my animations, but I'll just use this for now. So let's go back into our import animation and drag that one in as well. So Mixamo, and this is actually the animation. No, it's the characters. Okay, that's good. So let's see, where did we? Oh, I exported it here. Oh, well, actually, I forgot to name it. So it got named as Untitled. So let me just do it again. File, export, FBX, and that's where it is. So we'll call this walking backwards. There we go. Export. So back to Cryengine. And walking backwards, let's drag this one in here. And sometimes you need to expand this. So let's preview this. So the guy is walking backwards. Let's save it. And we'll save it in our animations. And I think I figured out what was wrong with our I think with the other one that we were doing. I think by mistake I've exported it here instead of the animations directory. So it might have been just a path issue. Okay, so our animations, we have Mixamo, select, and let's just click save. Okay, so now let's go into our character tool and see if our thing actually worked. Hopefully, it should load in here. But let me take a quick look at where our, as I was mentioning before, it could be an issue with our where our animations are being loaded from. So let's go into our CHI parameters. So as you can see, there's a problem. It's trying to load in from the objects characters Mixamo, so we need to update that to be our animations Mixamo. So let's select this one. So now we have our walking forward. Just create this anim settings, both of these, and the walking backwards, and make sure we save them. So walking forwards, walking backwards, and so that should be good for this guy, at least for now. Let's what I was thinking of was let's see if we can get the materials to look okay, so he's not all red like heck. So that's just going to take a little bit of work, and nothing that we haven't done before. But as one thing that I'm missing is the skin. I think I might have done a boo-boo there, so we're gonna have to leave that for last. So let's go into our Mixamo character directory in the textures here. So they're all pretty much set for now, but we do need to to fire up our some image editor program that we have. So I use Photoshop. So let's fire this guy up. And oh man, hopefully it's not gonna give me issues. Okay, so let's bring in, I'm gonna start with the bottoms, which I guess it means the paints. Alright, so we have our gloss, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna do Control-Alt, copy, and I'm gonna paste this into the alpha channel for the normal. So that was going to be that DDNA kind of thing. Alright, so we got the diffuse and we have the normal. So let's export both of these. as tips. So we have actually like the convention that we had before as diff that we're using. So let's save that, and yeah, so we got this other option here. You get a pop-up for tips, and let's do the normal. And this is, I'm just going to call this DDNA, and uncheck layers. We don't need that, and save. So now if we go back to Cryengine, we're going to have a material editor. So let's take a quick look at this guy. We have the body, we have the shoes, we got the bottom. So this is going to be our bottom material. I wish it would, we don't have the material assigned to our character yet, so let's just quickly assign the texture to this guy here. So this one's going to be, gotta go to Objects, Characters, Mixamo, Textures. So we have our diffuse, and what I like to do sometimes is just copy this and paste it in here because it's going to take me to that directly to that directory. I'm just going to have to change the texture, so it's going to be DDNA. Alright, so there's that. So first of all, let's just make sure that we got to assign this material to our character. So because right now it does not have that assigned. So let's find it, and we'll go to Objects, Characters, Mixamo, and this is our material here. And apparently it's not this one. I'm not sure why I was looking at this one, but it should be in here somewhere. Huh. I don't know why this one got up, opened up. So being that it's just a kind of a temp folder. So let's do this again, bottom material, and let's paste it in here. And make sure we save this. So there we go. It looks a little funky. I'm not sure why. So we got that. We got the diffuse. We got this one. Looks a little bit better now, but still looks a little funky. Let's do another one. Oh, so I know what's going on, and my apologies for not mentioning this earlier. One of the issues, well, I wouldn't call it an issue, but these characters, they have multiple UV maps, which you don't want. So, so in order to do that, I'm just going to import this character again. So let's do import and FBX, and you can import any of those. I'm just going to do the character here. It's going to have the walking animation to it, but in order to get around that, and I've kind of learned this partly myself. Oh, so I guess I saved this. Sorry. So let's try importing the actual one. So import FBX, and let's go to downloads and actually get one of the files that we got directly from Mixamo. So it's going to be, let's do this walking in place maybe. Alright, so just make sure you rotate at 180. So right now you'll notice that you know, we have all these pieces: body, bottoms, eyes, shoes, tops, and defaults. I guess default are the eyelashes. They all have a differently named UV map. So tops is that, this one's a different one, this one's another one. So what I've done is just actually double click on this and rename it to UV map for all of them. So UV map. So that way when you join them, or you parent them, I haven't tried parenting actually. So when you do that, they will all have the same UV map. So I'm just gonna copy this and move on to the other ones. There's that. There's the default. There's that one. There's this one. There's this one. And so let's just make sure they're all called UV map. UV map, UV map, UV map. Okay. One other thing to note is that some of these they share the same material. So for example, default with body shares the same material. So you know, just so that you're aware of it. So let's and also eyes is also body material. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select these again and you know, join them together. So now we have our 4 materials and only one UV map. So you can check that out just by going into here, and you'll see that all the UVs are in the same on the same UV map. You know, different materials, of course, but okay. So with that said, let's go ahead and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna re-export the character. I haven't actually tried to just export the skin, but let's try and do that. See if it works. So for that, I'm just going to go into and export just the selected objects, and go to Mixamo, and I'm going to call this Pants Guy Skin, and export that. So let's just jump back into the character tool and see if we select this different skin that we just exported, and we'll see if the material works a little bit better. So there's that. Oh, actually, sorry, that's not how we call it. And actually, I think I need to just import that. Yeah, that's true, Oscar. Alright, so let's go and re-import that skin. Hopefully that works out. So let's see if our skin got imported this time. Probably not. Yeah, I was hoping that it would just import that, but I think I need to import it with the whole thing. So let's see. Yeah, this import skin doesn't really do anything, so I'm wondering if we can just do through tools and FBX import. I'm not sure if we can import it as a mesh, if it's going to consider it that way. Alright, so that seemed to work, and as you can see, you know, we have all the you know, replace me kind of tags along here. So the problem is, I'm not sure if this is going to be considered a skin when I when I export this, when I save it. So I think it's just going to be considered a regular CGF object, unfortunately. So in that case, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to export this whole thing. And yes, it's going to create a new character, but that's fine. That was my mistake from earlier, from forgetting to mention to make sure to have one UV map. So let's do pants guy again. I haven't played a lot with importing just skin, so I'm actually wondering if it's just gonna replace it. Alright, so let's select the skeleton for this guy. There's that. Set the animations filter here. Our Mixamo directory. And let's set, oops, sorry. So let's make sure we set the skeleton to our pants guy skeleton. Just like that. And for whatever reason, there we go. So that looks a little better. And there he is walking. And we have the skin. Let's just save all. And we have those paths set. Actually, not for this one, but let's go to animations. Mixamo. Select. And there we go. We have him walking backwards, and he's, when you see all these, replace me, we know that the texture is actually going to be assigned to those. So walking forward and walking backwards. So there's that. So that's good. And this is our pants guy. This one we don't have to worry about. I was kind of mostly doing it to be able to get the skin in, which apparently didn't work just by exporting it from there. So with that being said, let's quickly do a save all again. So this is all set. Let's go to our material, and so this is called pants guy, and let's try and see if we can assign it here. Objects, characters, Mixamo. And hopefully, I'm wondering why is this one. Not open up, not update that material. That is kind of weird. Why it wouldn't apply that? But anyways, so let's skip the materials for now, but let's do let's get our character replaced. As far as, because right now if you jump into game mode, you know, we just have this guy. So we want to replace him with our let's see, where did I put that character tool? With our pants guy. So we want to replace him with this guy. Okay. Because you know he has the animations that we need and everything else. So let's do the solution and replace him. So in order to do that, I'm just going to close this. Unfortunately, you have to be you have to close the engine. This is one of the downfalls of Cryengine. Whenever you do work, you know, you have to shut the engine off, compile, start the engine again. So let's generate our solution for this. It's going to take a little bit of time. Usually it's pretty quick. Okay, so let's go into solutions, and then we have our game solution right here. So this is starting up right here. There we go. So we have our game solution with our project here. So what we want to do, first of all, is we want to change the player. So if we go into player CPP, you'll notice down here, you know, aside from having some CVARs for our player, which, for example, you know, you have the move speed, you have the eye height. So if you want to turn this into a first-game shooter or first-person shooter, you just modify these. You can modify them in as a CVAR when you're actually running it, or compile it from here, and it's going to be right off the bat. But what we're interested in is we are interested in our CDF file. So the CDF file is going to be this one right here. So we want to update this path to be our characters /Mixamo /pants _ guy dot CDF. So let me make sure that I got the path right. So on assets, objects, and characters, and then we have Mixamo, and then where is it? Pants guy CDF. There we go. It's this one right here. Okay, so with that said, that was pretty easy. I'll save this and build, and let's see if our player is replaced with our newly imported Mixamo guy. At this point, there will be no animations. So what we'll have to do is actually go into Mannequin and update our animations for this pants guy to have our proper animations. So let's start up the project. And for whatever reason, sometimes the engine does not boot up properly, and I'm not sure. It happens every now and again. Alright, so there we go. Let's open our test level. And let's jump into, and as you can see, we have our guy here, but of course there's no animations. So we have to go in and let's open up Mannequin editor. So tools, animations, Mannequin. So one thing to note is that this Mannequin editor, especially for the preview here, As you can see, there's the modus. So what we want to do is actually, whenever you load the preview setup, this player.xml, so it has the information for that. So what we need to do is, let's go back in here, and let me look at that path again. So that way we actually see the correct previews for what animation is going on. So let's go load preview setup, and this was under Mannequin and preview. So let's do that, and it's going to be assets, animations, Mannequin, preview. So let's edit this with Notepad++. So if we look in here, you'll notice that our model is actually set to the first person and third person, and not our Mixamo pants guy one. So let's update this to be Mixamo / pants. I got such a weird font template that it's highlighting that, and I can't really see what it is. Alright, so we have Mixamo pants guy, and I believe that's what we were calling him. Mixamo pants _ guy.cdf. Good. And then let's bring this into here as well. I really need to change that. It looks terrible. Okay, so let's try and open this up again, and hopefully it's gonna use the proper one. Yeah, there's some error reports here because of just missing animations. So there's our pants guy, which, you know, again, it has the lack of the proper material. But now I can go into its fragments, and fragments are used to yeah, unfortunately, Oscar, if you have a better thought on modifying that file, please do share it, because I don't know it any other way. So currently we have this walk option, and this one is using a blend space, and we don't have enough animations at the moment to create a blend space. But first of all, what we'll do is actually replace these. So we're going to replace this with our walking forwards, and unfortunately it's not going to work for you know, it's not going to show the entire range of movements, but hopefully we'll get to see this guy move somewhat somehow. So let's see, I'm wondering if I actually selected the proper one. I think it just froze a little bit. But there we go. So now we have our guy moving. The problem is, it's not probably it's not looping right now. But let's see. Let's go back into our mannequin. So a lot of these issues is that we don't have anything for these options here. So these are all missing. So I'm just gonna remove them for now, because we don't really need them. So I'm gonna delete that. So I'm just gonna keep walking, which now if we zoom in, we'll be able to, hopefully you guys can see it, and that thing is not too small. So now we'll be able to actually see it in preview. So we have our walking forward, and for now, since we need to have something for the default option, I'm just going to use our walking backwards. This is going to be replaced with an idle animation. So let's open that one and save the changes. So you can see the preview right here where you know, the guy is walking backwards. This, of course, it is a little weird right now because it's instead of the idle motion, and it's not. We don't, because I haven't exported a like an idle animation, and which leads me to believe, you know, let's do that. We still have some time here, and let's look for an idle, just so that you know, it looks a little bit more proper. So let's do quickly find animations, and let's search for idle because this will help. And so let's get this one. It seems to have a little bit of kind of too much of an intense dance. So I think this one will do just fine. So I'll add that to my assets and view and download. And this will give us a little bit of practice with the with importing animations. So we have our idle pants guy, and where's my download button here? Come on. Alright, there we go. So let's download the idle animation. And let's go to Blender. And I'm actually going to open a new, I'm going to open Blender anew here. Okay. So there's that. Let's see, how's our download coming along. It's slowly creeping up there. So we're going to bring this idle in, and we're going to use it for our idle motion. As you can see, I have quite a few other animations downloaded for a previous character I was working with. And now that I've done that video a couple of weeks ago on how to do blend spaces, that's basically what this is. You know, you got the walking backwards, right, left, forward, and that's all you need to do. You know, to create a blend space. So once you have that created, you can use it in your Mannequin editor for your walking options here. So instead of walking forward, you can have one of those blend spaces, and then, you know, once you move to the right, it's going to switch over to you know, that right strafe, or if you move at an angle, it's going to blend between going forward and going to the right. But for now, let's finish off today's stream with getting this one to have the idle animation as well. And next week, and sorry about the delay, next week we'll do like a crouch and you know, crouch walking and a jumping. So let's get the idle animation. We'll go to the character tool here. Oh, actually, sorry, my bad. Let's open up. I was actually meaning to get the animation import. So tools, FBX import animation. So let's go to downloads. Good. I thought I had it somewhere around here. Actually, first of all, I almost forgot. I need to rotate around the z-axis. So let's import that FBX and downloads, and this is going to be our idle. Make sure I'm getting the one that we just there we go, it's this one right here. So rotate around the z-axis by 180, just as before. And let's just join these. And make sure we rename the animation to be called idle, so we know what it is. And let's export now. So export FBX, exporting to Mixamo. Not really exporting it where I wanted to, because I wanted to export all of these into animations. But we'll leave that as is for now. So this is going to be idle. So export FBX. Alright, so let's go back into our import animation. There's the window. And go to our assets and objects, characters, Mixamo, and there's our idle right here. If we were to preview it, oh come on, where is it? There it is. So the guy's idling, you can call it that. And let's save this, and we want to save this into animations, Mixamo. And I think this is good right here. And save. So let's make sure we can access that through the character tool. And we're going to open our hands guy. And there's our armature idle. If we're to play this, you can see it kind of sways a little bit. You know, there's a slight movement. So let's just quickly also create the animation settings, and we'll save all. So now, once we go to our mannequin, if we go to the default, this is also, so these tags, and next week we'll go into them a little more, because we're going to have to create some new ones and use those in code to tag, you know, the jumping, the crouching, but right now default can also work as idle. So in here, let's, for the animation walking backwards, let's select our oh man, sometimes I hate this. I think because it's really annoying. For whatever reason, I need to restart the engine to actually get these new animations to be picked up, the ones that I've just imported. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But let's go in here, open our level, and go to the Mannequin tool. So let's look at this guy real quick, and we have our idle here. So let's add that in. Hopefully it got picked up. Yep, so there it is. So if we were to play this just to see as a preview, you can see that the dude is kind of hanging down there. Always make sure to save. Save changes. Save that. Okay, so he's idling. That's good. I'm just going to move this to the side, and hopefully now once we go into game mode, you can see the guy is kind of walking, and then it's going into an idle mode, and it's walking and idle. Right now, since I don't have a you know, left or, you know, strafe animations, it will use the same walking animation for left or right. That's why next week we'll export the other animations, you know, the left strafe, the right strafe, and we already have the walking backwards, and we'll create a quick blend space out of those, so that way when we strafe to the right, it's using the right strafe, and the same for left strafe. But for now, we were able to, bring in our Mixamo character, even though without the materials. And I need to do those because I'm not entirely sure why they. Let me pull in the material editor here, and I'm kind of wondering why. I'm kind of thinking this is the one that it's currently using. So let's try and apply this. Hopefully, let's copy that and paste it here. So let's save this and see if we actually replace it. Yeah, it's weird. I think what I'm thinking happened was that I'm not applying the proper material to this guy, and that's what might have happened. It was either in the export process or one of the two. Next week we'll pick it back up where we just left off, and like I said, we'll finish off adding the strafing and going back and forth. That way we create a blend space, and what I'm hoping for is also going to be the crouching and the jumping. So I did not want to add too much extra to this stream today, just because it would have been a little bit more, a little bit of coding, and we kind of took a little bit longer on the character export in this issue with the skin. So with that said, let me just check something real quick, because I can't remember if I was if on the note that I put on the Facebook page, if I did mention something about doing any of the jumping. Yeah, so unfortunately, so I did say that if there is time, we'll try to do the jumping animation. So I'm gonna leave this off for next week. We went a little bit longer, and I don't want to take any more extra time with the stream. So until next week, you guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you then. Hopefully this helped some of you out, and like I said, you can always message me on Facebook if you have any questions. So all right, that's going to be it for me for this week. Signing out. Like I said, next Sunday, probably the same time, and we'll try to do some more work with this character. Until then, you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Yeah, Oscar, I'm glad it helped. Hopefully it helped everybody else. So yeah, you guys take care, and I'll be uploading this video to YouTube. Sometime either today or tomorrow or Tuesday. All right, you guys, have a great Sunday and a great start of the week. All right, take care.